Swift. I know you went to the Taylor Swift concert. How was it?
Yeah, well, I was disappointed that she doesn't talk before or after her shows because she...
Taylor Swift's Fairytale just hit a brand new chapter, but not everyone is celebrating. When Travis Kelce got down on one knee, he wasn't just making history as her fiancé. He was holding on to a secret that even family members struggle to keep under wraps. And while Swifties across the world are screaming with joy, one familiar face is looking more heartbroken than ever. To make things even stranger, a man who once said he hated Taylor Swift suddenly turned soft the moment the engagement went public, leaving everyone asking, what's really going on here? On August 26th, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce finally dropped the news fans had been waiting for, a joint Instagram post announcing their engagement. The photos showed a dreamy garden setting, with Travis down on one knee, sealing what many are calling a modern-day fairy tale. But behind the picture-perfect moment was a ring that told its own story. Travis didn't just grab something off the shelf. He designed it himself, working with jeweler Kindred Lubick of Artifix Fine Jewelry. The result? A massive, old-mine, brilliant cut diamond, a one-of-a-kind piece described as unique and beautiful. And according to insiders, it wasn't just about the sparkle. It was crafted to reflect Taylor's style perfectly. Still, even with the flawless plan and a ring that could stop traffic, Travis was a bundle of nerves. One source revealed that he was pretty nervous not just about whether Taylor would say yes, but about whether she'd even like the ring he designed. At the same time, he was filled with excitement. The proposal, simple yet stunning, was described as so them. After all, their love story didn't begin with stadium lights and viral headlines. It started with casual, low-key dates where they got to know each other away from the cameras. This proposal was designed to reflect exactly that. But what fans didn't realize until later was that the world had been living in the dark for weeks. The proposal didn't happen the day it was announced. In fact, it was a carefully guarded secret, hidden even as rumors swirled online about whether Travis was planning to pop the question. For two high-profile celebrities, keeping something this big under wraps was no small feat. And as it turns out, there was even more pressure behind the scenes. Because while Travis was trying to find the perfect moment, both of their families had already been nudging him to make it official. As romantic as the proposal looked on Instagram, the truth is it didn't happen that day at all. Travis's dad, Ed Kelce, later revealed that the big moment actually took place almost 2 weeks earlier. In an interview, he explained how his son had been planning everything carefully, but Ed himself wasn't stressing over the details. His advice to Travis was simple: do it anywhere, it's the moment that matters. But Travis wasn't just thinking about his own nerves. Long before he got down on one knee, he'd already taken a major step, asking Taylor's father, Scott Swift, for his blessing. According to Ed, that conversation happened nearly a month earlier, and even Scott was eager to see it happen. In fact, he playfully pressed Travis about when he was finally gonna get it done. Both dads, it seems, were fully on board, and both were nudging Travis to make the leap sooner rather than later. With that kind of encouragement from the families, it's no wonder the proposal carried so much weight. This wasn't just a relationship between two people. It had become something bigger, something that brought both families together in anticipation. And while the Kelces and Swifts were celebrating a secret engagement, not everyone connected to Taylor was smiling. Because as the world erupted with joy, her ex, Joe Alwyn, was spotted looking like the exact opposite of someone living in a fairy tale. While Taylor and Travis were busy turning Instagram into a celebration of love, someone else was making headlines for a very different reason. Just 1 day after the engagement news broke, Taylor's ex, Joe Alwyn, was spotted on the streets of London. But instead of looking like a man who had moved on, Joe appeared somber, dressed head to toe in shades of blue, a choice fans couldn't help but point out matched his mood. The paparazzi photos painted a sharp contrast, Taylor glowing with happiness, flashing a $1 million diamond ring, while Joe shuffled through the city with barely a smile. For someone who shared 6 years of his life with Taylor, the timing of his public reappearance couldn't have been more awkward. Online, the reactions were merciless. Fans began clowning Joe for never proposing during their long relationship. Many joked that after all those years, Travis Kelce did in 1 year what Joe couldn't do in 6. And the internet didn't stop there. Swifties resurrected her 2019 track Paper Rings, a song widely believed to have been written about Joe. One viral tweet summed it up perfectly. "No paper rings here, Joe. Only diamonds, and Joe's face says it all." For some, it was proof that Joe fumbled what could have been the biggest fairy tale of his life. For others, it was simply a reminder that timing is everything. Either way, the comparison between her ex and her new fiancé had social media buzzing nonstop. But Joe wasn't the only one reacting to the news, because just as fans were dissecting his gloomy walk through London, another unexpected voice entered the conversation. Someone who has spent years slamming Taylor Swift. And this time, his response shocked everyone. Just when it seemed the engagement news couldn't get any bigger, it reached the halls of power. During a cabinet meeting, reporters asked President Trump for his thoughts on Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's engagement. And in a moment no one expected, the 79-year-old simply said, "I wish them a lot of luck. I think he's a great player and a great guy, and I think she's a terrific person." For longtime followers of Trump's social media posts, the response felt almost unreal. This is the same man who once typed in all caps, "I hate Taylor Swift," and went on rants about her being woke and no longer hot. In May, he even claimed she had lost her appeal ever since he called her out. And he didn't stop there. He regularly compared her to other celebrities, praising people like Sydney Sweeney while using Taylor as a punchline in his political arguments. So to hear him suddenly offer warm wishes, it was a total 180. Some saw it as proof that even he couldn't deny the cultural weight of this engagement. Others believed it was just another example of Trump shifting tone when it suited him. Either way, it added a new twist to a story that was already dominating headlines. But Trump wasn't the only one surprising people with his words, because in the middle of all the chaos, Taylor and Travis themselves shared details about how their love story really began, and it was every bit as unexpected as the proposal itself. Long before the diamond ring and garden proposal, this love story started with something as simple as a friendship bracelet. Back in 2023, Travis Kelce went viral when he admitted he'd tried to meet Taylor at her Eras tour and even made her a bracelet with his phone number on it. When he didn't get the chance to hand it over, he joked on his podcast that he was butthurt. At the time, most people saw it as a funny story, maybe even a little far-fetched. But what fans didn't know was that Taylor herself noticed his boldness. Later, she admitted that his confidence and sense of humor actually won her over. What seemed like a silly moment on the podcast became the first spark of something much bigger. From there, things moved quickly, but quietly. Their early dates weren't about luxury or paparazzi. They were casual, private dinners where the two could get to know each other away from the cameras. In a way, that simplicity shaped their relationship. Even now, people close to them say the engagement captured exactly who they are at their core: straightforward, down to earth, and deeply connected. Fans couldn't get enough of it either. When they finally made their engagement announcement, Taylor captioned the post with a playful joke: "Your English teacher and your gym teacher are getting married." It was a wink at their very different worlds, and fans loved the idea of two opposites building something so real. From a missed bracelet exchange to one of the most talked about engagements on the planet, their story has been anything but ordinary. And if the proposal wasn't already a cultural moment, the reaction from fans and the internet made it even bigger. The second Taylor dropped the engagement post, the internet practically exploded. Within hours, the announcement had racked up millions of likes on Instagram, turning it into one of the most viral celebrity moments of the year. Hashtags like Taylor and Travis and engaged shot to the top of Twitter trends, and it wasn't long before the memes came flooding in. One theme stood out above the rest: Joe ALWYN. Fans wasted no time clowning Taylor's ex, with tweets saying things like, "No paper rings here, Joe," a savage reference to the song many believe she once wrote about him. Some posts even joked that Joe gave her 6 years of his life, while Travis only needed one friendship bracelet. The internet can be brutal, and Joe became the punchline of the celebration. But the engagement wasn't just a pop culture frenzy, it became political too. Trump's surprisingly soft reactions split opinions online. Some praised him for finally putting respect on Taylor's name, while others mocked it as fake or opportunistic. Either way, it showed how massive this engagement was. Even politicians couldn't ignore it. And then came the bigger debate. Were Taylor and Travis about to claim the title of Hollywood's new royal couple? Some fans compared their pairing to iconic power couples like Brangelina and Beyoncé and Jay-Z, or Beyoncé and Jay-Z, calling them America's true prom king and queen. Others weren't so sure, arguing that it all felt too fast, too perfect, too public. Because while millions were celebrating, there was still a cloud of doubt hovering over the fairy tale. And that's where the story takes a sharp turn. Of course, with a love story this big, not everyone is buying into the fairy tale. Online, a wave of rumors quickly surfaced, with some fans pointing out how perfectly timed the engagement seemed. The announcement landed just as Taylor is gearing up for her next album and tour cycle, sparking speculation that it could double as a massive publicity move. But not everyone agrees with that theory. Others argue the engagement feels completely genuine, pointing to the involvement of both families and the fact that the actual proposal happened weeks before it went public. To them, that secret detail proves it wasn't a staged spectacle, but a real private moment that only later became part of the public buzz. It's important to remember, all of this chatter is just that, speculation. None of it is verified, but the rumors only add more fuel to the fire, keeping Taylor and Travis at the very center of every trending conversation. And regardless of where people stand, one thing is undeniable. This engagement has everyone talking. So let's pull it all together. Travis Kelce managed to keep the biggest secret of his life hidden for weeks, while his family quietly nudged him toward the proposal. Taylor's ex, Joe Alwyn, couldn't escape the spotlight, his somber look in London becoming an instant meme. Even Donald Trump, who once trashed Taylor at every chance, stunned everyone with a sudden soft reaction. And fans, they're split. Some seeing a real-life fairy tale, others convinced the timing is just too convenient. But here's the truth. Whether you love it or doubt it, this engagement has already become more than a love story. It's a cultural moment, one that blends pop, politics, and pure spectacle in a way only Taylor Swift could deliver. And if this moment proves anything, it's that the story is far from over. Stick around, because the next twist in Taylor and Travis's journey might be even bigger than this one.